Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Fish, what are you doing?
He's just
You can
having
continue.
fun.
You can continue. I didn't tell you to stop.
Oh, no, I know. Just
What's
having
going
fun.
on here? You okay?
I'm great.
Yeah, I can tell.
Football is life. We got the Women's Euros today, which I'll watch today. I don't know if I'll watch any other game.
The Women's Euro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you not watching the Women's Euros?
No?
No, some woman from Spain got injured. Who is she?
Yeah, she's out for the season. I have no clue, but I just know she's out for the season.
Well, I'm sorry about
So-
that, but no. Just no.
Okay.
And I will not be watching either.
Well,
Thank you,
it's
Terry.
European team, so I get that.
Terry,
Will
how
you
often
watch
do
the
people
Women's
tag
World
you?
Cup? Okay, cool. Thank you for the talk.
Oh, we appreciate you,
How many
Fish.
times do they tag me?
How many times do people tag you on the 4th of July with that video? Put it in reverse, Terry.
Probably a lot of people.
Never.
Never? Really? I am surprised. Wow.
Put it.
Well, how was your 4th of July weekend?
It was solid. I had to do a little gardening, which was difficult. I had to lay down the mulch in the front and then plant some flowers. But I had my son by my side,
Nice.
and we went to the Taco Fest. When did we go? No, we went Sunday.
And you didn't come and visit.
I thought you worked at night.
Well, I ended up working on Sunday and Monday too.
Oh, yeah. I thought about it. I saw it. It was right there. But I figured you were a night owl.
Nope, I started working at pretty much like noon to 1 both days.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like the Taco Fest, by the
Why?
way.
There was too many people when you went, wasn't there?
Yeah. The lines were too long. Tacos were okay. There was some that were
I got
good.
to try like probably 10 different taco trucks over the weekend of being there.
How do you not?
God bless. God
They're
bless.
good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, my son. It's just I don't like waiting. And then there was this one taco truck when people were starting to be jerks because they had to wait so long. They were just screaming, "I want my money back! I want my MFing money back!" And I'm like,
wow.
"Well, it's not that long. Do we have to do all this?" So, but other than that, it was all right.
All right. Well, speaking of things that are all right, last 3 games, Tigers have won.
Oh, boy.
I know that. How about
3-game
that?
winning streak. Not
Hottest team
bad.
in baseball.
Not bad. They crushed the Guardians last night. Riley Green is easily the best player on this team, and that makes me very sad. I'm happy for her, but Javi Baez.
Yeah, I know.
Do something.
Riley Green, how about we describe him as the spark? He seems like when he goes, the
He's
rest of the
batting
team
leadoff,
goes.
so he literally is the definition of a spark player.
Right.
He gets it started for the team. He's been playing really well. He's been their best player since he's gotten called up. It's not even close. I guess you can put Miggy as a close second, and everybody else has been average
Right.
at best.
No. Below average.
Below average.
You give
You
them
would
too
take
much
average
credit.
at this point in the season.
Right. I would take a bunch of 250 hitters because to me that's
average. One
right.
out of every 4 at bats.
Right. So you're not even getting that from these guys.
Yeah, it's disappointing. What I will say is it's good to see them win games. Right? You don't want to see them in the gutter, but they've been teetering, Terry, between 12 and about 17 games under 500
Right.
for the longest time now. So the season is done. There is no coming back. Now, if they play well down the stretch, what does it matter?
Maybe they
You
could get to close to 500. And what is
Maybe.
that?
Then what? I don't think they get anywhere near close to 500. Maybe, if they're lucky, they can finish 71 and 91. That would be a decent recovery.
Sad.
Yeah. So that's their trajectory.
Now I think we talked about this maybe off it, but your boy's coming back next year.
Yeah. Do we
How do
have
you
to-
feel about that?
Not happy about it. I will be tweeting every day until he is gone.
Well, you're gonna be tweeting for like 2-3 years.
Yeah,
at
that's what
least.
they told me.
I was
I'm
thinking
not
8
happy about
years,
it.
but 2 years is...
It's unacceptable. There we go.
Oh Lord, I was trying to avoid this
I was
today.
hoping to
but
do this at 8:30. I guess we can do it now. Where in America? Hell, forget America.
The world.
We're in the world.
Where in the world can you suck absolute dick at your job?
Stan Kroenke.
Shut up, buddy. NHL champions, Super Bowl champions, just shut up. Nobody cares about soccer. Shut up. He's a damn good owner.
No, he sucks.
Mute your mic.
You gotta do good for all your teams, not just a few of them.
There are owners that can't even be successful for one. This dude's crushing everywhere else, but whatever.
Plus, ownership is different. You got money, you can do whatever you want. Look at the Fords. They had the team forever, still do. I mean, the old man could have kept the team as long as he was alive. Didn't matter.
Look, where in the world? Somebody answer this for me. Where in the world can you suck absolute dick at your job? Not for a quarter, not for a year, hell, not even 2 years. For 8 years, you suck. And everybody that works with you or is associated with you realizes it. And people outside of your workspace, right, in your field, are like, man, you know, that guy Elon Musk doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Imagine everybody dogging you. And you sitting there with the worst record in the AL Central. Again,
Second worst.
Well, excuse me, Kansas City after yesterday. That's fair. But this is... Terry, I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't understand how this is even... How are we here? He's 8 years in. 6 years into the rebuild. They're no further along in the rebuild since year one till now. I mean, I don't have reasons... And I would love to sit here and support the product and say, you know what? It's a damn good product. They're on their way. I would love to talk about the Tigers the way we talk about the Pistons, the Lions, the Red Wings. Can't do it.
Very pleased. I mean, when Chris Ilitch says very pleased with the progress of it, they must be doing things that we don't recognize.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Ilitch saying he's pleased with the Detroit Tigers is like
no.
Some dude lasting with Maddie for 3 seconds and her saying, oh, that was great. Sorry, that was the only thing that came to my head. I don't know. That was the example that I came up with. It's a good example, though. Yes or no?
That's a good example.
Thank you. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? We're 11 days away from the draft. I have zero... I wish you could explain it to me. You can't. None of you can. How this guy is still in the job. Why? You can't go find a new president and a new GM and just suck it up and try to figure out how to put together a contending ball club? Just tell me you don't give a fuck. Don't sit up there and say, well, I'm pleased with the progress.
You look like you had a bottle of tequila when you did that.
I might need one after this show.
But you know what? That just shows complacency. It shows that the owner doesn't care. That's why the owner and Avila were booed a few weeks ago at Comerica Park. I mean, you don't have to trash your guy like you do. But here's what you can say. I'm disappointed with the progress that we made. I thought we'd be further along. This is unacceptable.
No. That's not how life works. When you run a company, you're responsible to give legitimate answers that get people to support your decisions. And one of the things that, Dan Campbell did that made me respect the hell out of him was that he made a tough call mid-season, pushing Anthony Lynn to the side, taking over the offensive play calling duties. That's a man's decision. That's a leader's decision. And nobody liked it at the time. And that's usually how decisions work.
And he didn't trash him.
And you didn't trash him. You did it. You went about it the right way. You tell me what is so hard to move that thing out of town. He's not even a human. He sucks at his job. I mean, this is every owner's dream. To be honest with you, one, a scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
Two, somebody that is overpaid and doing a horrible job. Well, that's an easy way to get rid of him. Terry, you can ask me till I'm blue in the face why, or can I justify him? I don't know how you can justify him leading the MLB draft this year, him leading into the trade deadline, him being the reason why this team is somehow going to turn it around next year. And if I'm AJ Hinch, I walk into the office, I call a meeting with both of them, and I sit them down, I say, Chris, thank you for bringing me here. Al, thank you for bringing me here. I have zero intention of re-signing my contract when it's over here. Zero. I don't care if you go bring Aaron Judge, Ken Griffey Jr. back in his prime, and Justin Verlander in his prime. I don't give a rip. I don't want to coach this baseball team.
If he does that, he's coming back.
I'm being dramatic, but yes. I want no part of this project. This is not a progressing project. You're leaving me out there to coach a bunch of shit-ons to the point where people like us are talking about whether or not they should call up Akil Baddoo. That's moving the needle. You're doing a great job, Al.
That's right. Akil Baddoo is in a commercial with Riley Green. So
it's a tough pill for me to swallow. It really is. I wish I could look you in your face and tell you, Terry Foster, you know what?
What?
This guy deserves one more offseason because he's this close. He's made a few good moves.
That's what we should be talking about. This should be the year where we're not talking playoffs. We're talking about, they're this close to being good. That's what we should be talking about, at the very least.
Paid Javi Baez. He's made trades that are unforgivable. He's paid Jordan Zimmerman, Upton. And I don't want to hear Baez was a good signing. Baez was your only signing that they had to make because, let's just call it what it is. Baez is not a Detroit Tiger unless AJ Hinch, if AJ Hinch isn't here. If AJ Hinch isn't the manager, the Tigers would go another offseason without spending significant money. That's the reality. They weren't willing to pay Correa an additional $10 million a year. So they settled for the guy who swings at a ball that's outside of Comerica freaking Park. You get what you pay for. Baez is a damn good player, good fielder, streaky hitter. When he's hot, he's one of the best hitters in baseball. And when he's off, my God, he couldn't hit a goddamn softball in slow pitch leagues. It's that bad.
It is that. But, it's also a mental thing with him. We saw Riley Green come in, and you know what he was at the plate? Disciplined. He's aggressive in the strike zone, which he should be, but he's disciplined. He draws walks. Baez is up there. Okay, I'm up here. I'm just going to swing at everything. And he does. There is no, the reason this guy is hitting better is they're giving him balls in the strike zone. There's no reason
to give him anything.
Give Baez anything in the strike zone.
God, whichever one you are, whatever faith any of you believe in, I don't care. One of you, please help. I have nothing. I have nothing for any of you this morning. How this guy is still in charge of your baseball team is beyond me. It tells me everything I need to know about Chris Ilitch. It tells me everything I need to know about this organization and their intentions moving forward. They are going to be the Detroit Lions for the next 8, 10, 15, 20 years if they keep this up. Hell, maybe even 50 years. They will never escape baseball. They will be at the bottom of baseball for the longest time with this guy in charge. Can't fix that.
But you know what the enablers are saying now?
Well, it's progress.
But Adham, they've won 3 games in a row, buddy. Come on.
Well, excuse me. Over a 162 fucking game schedule, I sure hope to fuck that you win 3 games at some point in the season. I'll tell you about the mulligan.
You still surprise me when you do that. I don't know why.
Oh, God. Let me tell you, I'm going to need a drink after, and the mulligan is the absolute drink. It's the official drink of the summer. Whether you're on the golf course, you're hanging out in the backyard with Fish and Maddie, or you're like me and you have a whole 2-hour show that drives you absolutely crazy, and you need a drink after, this is the drink. 48% alcohol, iced tea, lemonade, and gypsy vodka mixed, and as always, please drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
We have another gloomy day here in Metro Detroit. It's raining outside, but don't worry, you can still get your tan on at Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you find the cleanest salons in the deep. They have spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals on unlimited tanning. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tan.
Chili Peppers tan.
Boy, with the weather the way it is today, that's literally the only place you're going to get a tan today.
Indeed.
How do you not?
All right,
A
Terry.
little bit cloudy.
Terry,
Yes, sir.
you're a fundamentalist, I would say, at least in sports, right? You've been around long enough to see multiple evolutions, multiple transitions. You've seen the game change in every sport prior.
I have.
It's the Big Ten expanding, bad for college football.
I'm going to say no. It's not bad. But here's the problem. I've been trying to come up with a 24 teams for the Big Ten because they say that all the conferences are going to be 24 team leagues. I can't come up with 24 teams I want. And the reason is if we're going to put UCLA and USC in and possibly Oregon and Washington and Stanford and Cal, there's some Big Ten teams who are in now that I want to get rid of. Like Nebraska.
Rutgers,
Nebraska, I think, is the
Rutgers.
easy one, right?
Yeah.
I think, Rutgers, the Big Ten doesn't want Rutgers to go because of all the academic stuff, but Rutgers gives the Big Ten nothing. Now, people always say, well, it's the
It's
New
not
York
true.
market. Huh?
It's not true.
What?
Rutgers gives every team in the Big Ten that's decent a win every year.
Okay, that's not what your job is. But people say, oh, well, it's the New York market. Guess what they don't care about in New York City?
Rutgers.
No, they don't care about Rutgers. They don't care about college football.
Yeah, they have two football teams.
Right. They got the Giants and the Jets. So college football doesn't exist. Rutgers doesn't exist. So I throw that out the window. So I want to kick Nebraska and Rutgers out. I wouldn't mind booting Maryland out either.
Yeah, would you keep Maryland?
What about, okay. Well, you replace, here, let's add UCLA and USC to this, right? So now you're at, what, 16 teams?
Yeah.
You kick out Nebraska, you kick out, let's say Rutgers.
Rutgers.
All right, you need to replace two now. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is obvious.
That's the easy one. I think that last team should be in Oregon. I would be for that. I think Oregon is the move. You're already taking a West Coast team, and UCLA and USC, you might as well hit the trifecta.
Well, I was trying to pair the teams, so I was thinking Oregon and Washington, because they're stuck up in the Pacific
Yeah, Notre Dame
Northwest.
brings too much money to the table. But reports are that the Big Ten is only considering Notre Dame at this moment because they know Notre Dame moves the needle. What I would ask you, Terry, is how do these moves? Again, bad for college football. Is it bad for student athletes? I don't believe so, right? I mean, we've talked about NIL now for how many years? Wanting students to get paid. They delayed adopting it. They pushed it along down the road as long as they could. And then they had this whole mess over the last 2.5 years where they're still trying to figure things out. And they'll still need another 3, 4, 5 years before they figure out what to do with NIL. But I look at this move for the Big Ten. It's a win. Terry, the last 5 years of college football, ratings are down on TV, views are down, attendance is down. Nobody's watching college football. It's going down. Not nobody, right?
Fewer people.
Fewer people are watching college football. Why? Because I don't want to turn on Alabama, LIU, and they're winning 62-0. You know why the NFL is so special? Because the Jaguars and the Lions could be playing on Thursday night, and 30% of America likely would tune in. Fantasy football implications, yeah, I know the whole thing. It's the NFL. Every game matters. College football, there's 4 or 5 games in the season. You know your team is winning by 40.
Right. Like September is a wash.
It's a wash. Everybody's trying to start 4-0 and get their season started. Well, you go to week 1. What premier game do I need to watch this college football season? I'll wait.
They're starting to sprinkle some in, but for the most part, and this is going to trickle down and hurt the smaller schools. You're seeing Michigan State and Central Michigan. You're seeing Michigan and Western Michigan. You know, for someone who went to one of those schools, it means a lot only from this standpoint that I know those schools need that money. I don't enjoy, for instance, Central Michigan played Florida. You know how that worked? How did that work out? You know what the score was?
Bad.
It was 86-6.
Yep.
So, hey, got paid, but it was an embarrassment to all the alumni. So you're going to get rid of those games, but what happens to the programs at the MAC? What happens to the programs at some? They make their money by playing bigger schools. They don't make money by playing each other because nobody goes to those games. And if they do go, they get the hell out of there at halftime.
Well, Notre Dame leaves that money on the table every year by not being in a conference, right?
Correct.
See, Ohio State sells tickets. They make money playing in the Big House. They make money playing road games in the Big Ten. They are a draw, just like Michigan is. So there's a lot of money on the table with this. What I would say, Terry, is this will continue. This is going to turn into 2 likely super conferences, and it'll develop into a 14-team playoff, where the conference winner at the end of the year gets the bye week, and then it's like the NFL, 3 wildcard games, and then you just keep going. You get rid of championship games for the conference. That's over and done with. I guess you get rid of the championship game, but there is a conference winner every year, and they get the bye week, so you can still have that tradition, right? This is where it's going.
But don't you still need a championship game because you're going to have 2 divisions? So you can still.
I think you get rid of divisions. You could, in theory, yes, you could. I think you get rid of divisions. I think it's done. You make conferences. That's it.
So when we look at the standings, it's going to say 1 to 24.
1 to 16. I think 24 is too much. Well,
but
it depends,
they're talking
actually.
about 20 or 24, though.
Yeah. Oh, it will be there, actually. You're right. You're adding another 8 teams to each conference minimum. It could be higher. You know what? Divisions isn't a bad idea. At least that way you could probably adopt Clemson's model. They brought it up in the ACC, the 3-5-5. 3 locked-in rivalry games. And then you have your conference games and out-of-conference games. And then you play 5 games against the opposite conference, 5 games in conference, and then 3 against rivals. The problem is parity, fairness. How do you prevent, let's just call it what it is, Michigan and Ohio State, they're playing each other every year. That game's not going away.
Right.
That's a marquee game. Alabama, Alabama, Auburn, that's a marquee game. That's not going away.
I would say Alabama, LSU shouldn't go away.
So, defining those rivalry games, if I'm just in my interest as a Michigan man, not the school, but just the state of Michigan, Michigan State is a must. Michigan, Ohio State is a must. And I don't think there's anything else I could care for. Those are the two big games every year, in my opinion, on the calendar. The third game, the rivalry, whatever you want to make it. The problem is Michigan has two clear-cut rivalry games. Michigan State has Michigan. Do you lock Michigan State into playing Ohio State? I don't think you do. I don't think that's the move. So how do you put together an equilibrium where all the teams in the conferences have a similar strength of schedule? I think that's where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
so if you are playing an Ohio State, a Michigan State, and a Penn State locked in every year, well, you get to play some of the bottom tier teams in the opposite conference to kind of compensate for it. That maybe is a solution, but that's where college football is heading, and I'm all for it, Terry. I really am. I don't have an issue with it.
Okay, I'm wondering, why do you need 20 or 24 teams?
Why?
Why?
Well,
I think
if
you
you
can
expand,
go 16.
Well, if you expand like I recommended, where the conference champion gets a bye week, and then you have 6 teams that make it in, you have 7 on each side, 14 teams make the college football playoff. So it becomes the NFL. The number 1 seed gets the bye, and then there's 3 wildcard games, and you go from there. Now you have more college football playoff games. You're generating more revenue for all the schools and all the conferences, more TV money, more digital money, more social media money, more advertising money, more eyeballs, more views, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that to me is the ultimate game plan, and you're allowing 14 college football teams in. Now, do you allow some out-of-conference people? I don't believe so. I think whoever is in that conference is college football playoff eligible. And out of the 48 teams that play in that conference in total, 14 of them can make it.
Okay, so you're talking about the college playoffs. So this is what this is all about, the college playoffs. But when I'm talking about a 16-team conference for the SEC and Big Ten, do you really need Illinois? Do you really need Indiana? You can survive without them. The SEC, can't they go keep rolling without Vanderbilt?
This is where things get scary. And I'm sorry. Welcome to America. Adapt or die. That's this country. Terry, you know what's going to happen?
Tell me.
Indiana, Rutgers, Nebraska, Northwestern, Illinois, Maryland. 6 teams. And this version, the 48-team model that we adopted, out of those 6, I think 4 could be gone. Easily. Because you're going to want to replace them with a Stanford, with an Oregon, with an Oklahoma State. We're going to be fighting over Big 12 teams now. See, the thing is, if you adopt a super conference, there's 2. And those 2 super conferences are directed, managed, overseen by the college football playoff. So now, does it really matter which side of the conference you're on as long as you're one of the 48 teams? I don't believe so, but logistically it does matter. Right? So Oklahoma State likely goes down with the SEC side. Do you rebrand it to the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, the North and the South? However you want. I don't care how you want to rebrand it. But that, I think, is the perfect model. 14-team playoff. Number 1 seeds get a bye. 48 teams total in both conferences combined. 24 on each side. The top 2 at the end of the year, if you want, can play a conference championship game. I don't think that should be the case. It should be by head-to-head and overall standing, and whoever is at the top gets the bye week, and then the rest, you fill them out from there.
I'm not willing to give college teams a bye. So I'd rather see 16 teams,
and then you just play it?
Everybody just play, and then you seed it and just go right there.
I'm not opposed to that. You want to reward... That's the thing. You want to reward the conference winner. What is the difference, Terry, in a college football playoff format? If I'm an 8th seed, right, and I'm playing, granted, I'm playing Alabama. It's not an easy matchup, but what's the difference between my 9-3 or 10-2 football team and their 12-0 football team? We both accomplish the same thing. We're in the college football playoff. We are likely playing on a neutral field unless Unless it becomes you play at your home field for the first round, then they go to neutral field. Who knows, right? But there's no benefit to Alabama. Why am I gonna do this to myself? Why should I be the 1 seed? Where's my reward? I am the whatever you want to call it, conference winner. Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, but you get to play Northwestern.
True. Yeah, but based on this model, that 8 seed is going to be a damn good school. And most years, you're looking at...
But the 4 seed in today's college playoffs is not a damn good school. It's not good. Compared
to Georgia and Alabama, yes.
But you'd be playing Georgia, Alabama. So
if we were to adopt the college football playoffs rankings from last year, it would be Alabama versus BYU. Whoa.
You don't think they'd slaughter them?
That was the wrong one. It'll be Alabama versus Oklahoma.
They still blow them out.
Alabama blows out anybody. Michigan versus Iowa. Georgia versus BYU. Cincinnati versus Pitt. Notre Dame versus Utah. Ohio State, Michigan State. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Baylor, Oklahoma State.
So you get better matchups when you go 8 than you do with 4.
Yeah, I think the only team that kind of got screwed over a little bit, if I'm honest, in this seeding, man, honestly, it's got to be it's got to be Georgia. Georgia will play Oregon based on last year's rankings. That's a tricky matchup. Oregon wouldn't beat them likely, especially last year's Georgia. But the point is, all these games are great games. There's not a single game outside of Alabama and Iowa or whatever it was.
It was BYU.
BYU. Like, all right, that's a 60-0 college football playoff game. Excuse me. But based on this new format, that 16 seed may be UCLA. That may be Oklahoma State, who was a conference winner, I believe, last season. Could be USC this year under Lincoln Riley. So I'm all for it, man. Let's go to break. When we get back, which Detroit Pistons player are you looking forward to most going into the Summer League tomorrow? Chet Holmgren had a hell of a night last night. I believe Keegan Murray had a very good first game. So a lot of players showing out in their first Summer League games. Doesn't matter. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency?
Yes, I can. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Well, if you are looking for something fun to do that's inside because of this rain, look no further than the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. That is home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. They've got 2 ways to play, $12 open unlimited play, or you can reserve a private lane for just $120. Don't forget, of course, they have a $2 mystery beer machine as well as multiple full bars. So check it out at thefoalingwarehouse.com.
All right. We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry, before we continue and move on to the Pistons, we were going over a 16-team playoff.
Yes.
Would you watch Michigan State, Ohio State in a college football playoff game?
Absolutely. local team, and I like watching Ohio State. So
I think that's a draw.
Yes, that's a draw.
I think that's a damn good draw. Would you watch Alabama versus Oklahoma? Those are two big programs.
Yes.
You'd watch it.
Definitely.
Would you watch Notre Dame? Let's see, Georgia, Oregon, that's a good one. BYU, Notre Dame, no, I wouldn't. Ohio State, Michigan State, that's a damn good one. So there are games on here, man. There are games. I think this is the way to go, man. This is going to give you a great end of the season. We just need to define how you are rewarded outside of seeding during the regular season.
Now, you're talking about getting rid of the conference championship game. Would you get rid of most of the bowl games?
No, bowl games can stick around, right? Bowl games are paid for by advertisers anyways, right? That's how schools make money. You win a minimum of 6 games.
What's the NFL model? How come the NFL doesn't have bowl games then?
Well, because the NFL doesn't reward a bunch of random schools, but the NFL is a money maker. They're making just enough money. They're doing quite well. College football, Illinois needs to win 6 games to play in a bowl game because that revenue helps. It matters for some of these schools. So I would keep bowl games. I wouldn't watch bowl games anymore, personally. I could give a rip. For me, it's about the college football playoff. That's the standard. And then, to be honest with you, Terry, if you want to be fair, maybe, there's 24 teams in each conference, yes?
Yes.
Every year, 3 teams in the conference from both sides are sent down to a subdivision, right? And 3 teams are promoted. That way you're getting fresh new teams every year, and you're encouraging teams not to suck. The problem is there's money involved. And there's a big difference between the money that those conferences will generate and you being basically an independent.
Yeah, but the ratings for the other bowl games I think they would decrease dramatically, because if you put 16 teams in the playoff, you're going to get some teams who are 9-3 and 8-4 who would normally be in the secondary bowls. So I, as a consumer, am not watching 6-6 Illinois against 7-5 Iowa State.
Yeah, I agree.
No way in hell.
Yeah, I agree. Bowl games have been dead for like 20, 30 years almost now. What are we, 2022? Come on. The last decent bowl game was maybe in the early 2000s. It's been 20 years. Come on, guys. We're done. We're past bowl games. They don't work. Nobody gives a fuck. Sorry. Terry, Summer League action tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Detroit Pistons. Who are you looking forward to the most, and how important is the Summer League, in your opinion, for a player's development?
Since I've been to Summer League, I went to the Summer League in Orlando, and I think it's important from the standpoint of, can this guy play in the league? For instance, the year I went, the Pistons guy was Stanley Johnson. And I didn't want to say it at the time, but I could tell the dude was kind of bad. He's playing against secondary guys, and they're manhandling him. And after every game, he's talking all this trash. I'm good. I belong in this league and stuff. I'm like, dude, how? So I think it gives players confidence. It doesn't tell you if the team is going to be good or not, but can this random first-round pick find his way in the Summer League? And if he stinks in the Summer League, chances are he's going to stink when the real men are around. So I think it's important from that standpoint.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing Jaden Ivey, obviously, on the court. That's going to be fun. I guess it's interesting to watch how many minutes they're going to give Cade. That'll be interesting. He was named to the Summer League roster at maybe 4 minutes a night. I don't think you play more than that. Just let him get his legs working out there.
Maybe the thing to watch is the chemistry and that develops between Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. Maybe that's the answer. Not just one player, but how do they work together? Do they have a difficult time working together? Is Cade like, okay, I can't work with this guy. He's too crazy for me. So I'm looking for the chemistry between those two guys.
Fair enough. One of the things that's important to remember is you can be like Keegan Murray and have a fantastic first game and then have a bad second game. So these 4 games initially that you're going to play, you want to see glimpses. I think that's what you're looking for. Stuff that translates into the NBA, right?
Right.
A jump, being hot on a given night from 3, all right, that's whatever. That's fine. But a guy like Jaden Ivey, are you able to penetrate to the basket? Or are you having a hard time against a bunch of players who won't even be in the league? So if he's getting to the basket at will, I think that's an encouraging sign. I think if he's getting open shots and he's creating those open shots, whether or not he hits them is irrelevant in my opinion. That's promising. But if he goes out there, like you mentioned, with Stanley Johnson and completely struggles, oh, that's not a good sign. It would be concerning. I don't expect him to. Typically, players that struggle are athletic players that need time to develop, right? That's the key word we always use. This is a guy, I think, that walks in the league and contributes to a certain extent for the Pistons.
Right. Here's the thing you can't do. You can't look at the top players and say, okay, Jabari Smith is going to be better than Chet Holmgren, or Chet Holmgren is going to be better than Jabari Smith. You can't do that because this is not the real league.
Yep.
Do you know what people were talking about after last year's Summer League? Pistons made a mistake. Should have taken Jalen Green.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Damn, what were they thinking? Troy messed up.
Yeah. Again, Jalen Green showed in the Summer League what he showed down the stretch in Houston. He can get a bucket. Cade showed he's a facilitator, pass-first guy, plays at his own pace, and that's what you saw down the stretch with Cade once he got comfortable in the league. So people love flash. People love everything about a star player, but the league is just going in a completely different direction, Terry. When we get back, Terry, I got to bring this up.
Well, you don't have to, but you want to.
Back in the day, I have to. No. This is very, very relevant for the Detroit Pistons. Back in the day, you would spend your whole career with the team, right? Mobility wasn't really a thing. Free agency. The market really wasn't there for big-time players. You were typically where you were drafted most of your career. And then, times change, and Shaq goes from Orlando to L.A., and then it starts to trickle down, and then LeBron James happens. And yesterday I brought up why mobility in the NBA is actually not good for the player. And I'm super interested to hear what you have to say to this. So
it's not good for the player?
Not good for the player.
Wow, I want to hear this one.
I'll explain why once we get back. But before we do, I got to tell you where I got my haircut yesterday. And let me tell you, I can't appreciate Lady Jane's enough. The fact that you make me look like a decent-looking human being is phenomenal. That's tough to do. How you guys look at me every day is beyond me at this point. So check out Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. I just walked in. I didn't have to ask. They knew what was up. They took care of my beard, took care of my hair, and here we are this morning. Get to Lady Jane's. They'll take care of you like they take care of me. As always, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Go to OddsTrader.com right now for your best bet, or you can download it at the App Store today.
All right, Terry. What's up, man? Missed you yesterday.
Thanks, pal. Now, you're
All
going
right.
to tell me how free
At least
agency
he didn't
is.
call you cutie pie.
No, I appreciate it.
I was thinking about it.
Well, I appreciate it. So let me tell you, I think free agency, and not free agency in the sense of putting yourself out in the open market and getting your value, that's not bad. The idea that mobility is a good thing, and LeBron changed the league, right? That's what we hear all the time.
Not me, Spencer Haywood.
In theory, yes, but LeBron made it. I mean, he took it to a whole new level, right? He made being mobile successful. And if you look at all the players that have moved outside of LeBron James in the last 22 years, there was only one successful scenario. Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors. And that was a one-year project. He left. And you know what the Clippers have done since he's gotten there? Nothing. So that's not even working. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Anthony Davis. All these players moving teams. What do they have to show for it?
Paycheck?
Nothing. Nothing but a paycheck. You know who's won the NBA championship in the last few years? Homegrown team in Golden State. Homegrown team in the Milwaukee Bucks. Right? Their superstar was drafted by their original team. And if you go back over literally the last 22 seasons, Terry, since 2000, the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, that was built. Kobe was drafted. One of their superstars was brought in through the draft. The Pistons, an anomaly, right? There wasn't really anything put together, but they didn't have any superstars, right?
They didn't, but they had to bring in Rasheed Wallace to win that championship.
So they just had a core of good players. That was it. They were just very good to very good. You go to D. Wade and Shaq, Dwayne Wade was drafted by the Heat. You go to the Spurs, Tim Duncan, all of it grown through the draft. You go into the 2000s, late 2000s with Kobe and the Lakers, right? Kobe's still there. Superstar. They make some moves. They draft Bynum. They trade for Gasol. Championships. The Dallas Mavericks. Dirk Nowitzki. Home built. Miami Heat. Still had Dwayne Wade there, but LeBron James. LeBron James will be the anomaly for the last 10 years. He has made being mobile successful. He's made it look easy because he's the greatest, if not the second greatest player of all time. Depends who you ask. So unless you have LeBron James, being a mobile superstar doesn't work.
Well, young man, wouldn't you have said Kevin Durant was a success?
No.
If he didn't get greedy and go to Brooklyn.
Kevin Durant, the problem is, Kevin Durant was successful in Golden State, but where'd he go? He went to a team that was already built. A team that was coming off a 73-win season.
He got a ring.
He got multiple finals MVPs, not discrediting the game. But look what mobility does. And again, the 2 years of Kevin Durant winning a championship in Golden State, what does that mean? It was literally the true definition of what a super team is.
True, but you got to experience winning a championship. You got to experience that whole thing. And when you're sitting around at age 65, that championship ring is not going to say NBA champion / freeloader. It's not going to say that.
With Kevin Durant, I'm willing to give it to you. All right? But him and LeBron aren't the only two superstars or star players that have left. There's an abundance of them. And the ones that have been successful, Terry, in the last 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, have been teams that have been homegrown. Teams that have drafted their stars in the draft. 4 teams in the conference final this year. Who were they? Golden State and the Dallas Mavericks, the Boston Celtics, and the Miami Heat. Miami, free agent destination, they'll always be able to put together a team through free agency. Boston built through the draft.
Right,
Golden State built through the draft.
Bucko,
and
here's
so
the
did
mistake
Dallas.
that you're making. You're assuming people leave teams because they want to win a championship.
Most of them say they do.
But that's not true.
Russell Westbrook going to the Oklahoma City Thunder after they were, the Houston Rockets, when they were so close to getting to a finals, they were considered championship caliber. Paul George and and Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, outside of the bubble championship, has not worked out. You go to James Harden, going from Oklahoma City to Houston, Houston to Brooklyn, Brooklyn now to the Sixers. It doesn't work.
But do players leave to take a pay cut? No.
No, they're
leaving because they want to get paid.
Well, you make more money staying with your team in today's NBA, though, right? The team that you're drafted by can always offer you more money. They can give you the added year, and there's an extended bonus. Like Jokic. Jokic couldn't get the money he got from Denver anywhere else. He got to sign a Supermax deal, one, because he was an MVP recently, and two, this team who drafted him. So they have his bird rights, and his contract has so much more value. You can't do that in free agency. And that's kind of the point I'm making is...
But the threat of free agency forces the home team to pay that money.
Of course, but you have no issue paying a Jokic, a Kevin Durant, some of the better players in the league. Where I'm going with this is the Pistons. All this talk of the cap space, Terry, they're blowing it away. They're not doing anything with it. What are they doing? Excuse me. Hypothetical. Let's say Cade Cunningham is the best player in the NBA in 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
You're a contender, no matter what. Let's say Jaden Ivey is a star, not even a superstar. Let's just say a star player. He's an all-star caliber player every year. You are going to be one of the favorites coming out of East for the next decade. Go add veteran players in free agency. Go make a few trades for veterans during the season. But at the end of the day, your team is built through the draft, just like Golden State, just like Milwaukee. Even though Milwaukee a little bit more of a different extent because they've brought so many pieces to Giannis, Drew Holiday, Lopez, Bobby Portis. They've brought players a little different, but still the same concept, building around the people you drafted. Boston. So I think it's great news for the Pistons because that will discourage a Cade Cunningham, a Jaden Ivey from walking away after 4 years.
Well, Troy Weaver screws up the drafts, it would encourage them to leave. But I think Troy Weaver is getting a little bit greedy from this standpoint. He's tanking this year. He wants to make sure, maybe subconsciously, that the Pistons don't make the playoffs next year. They don't play in the play-in game. He wants to make sure that they're in the lottery so he can get another young piece. He's really hell-bent on this building through the draft with young players. Pistons can't be a young team forever. But he wants to bring in another borderline superstar or star player who's young, who's under 22. Don't you think they're tanking this year?
Looks like it.
Subconsciously?
Subconsciously, I would say. I still think they're 6, 7, 8, 9 games better than they were last year just because of Cade Cunningham and really Saddiq Bey. Those two are going to be the most dynamic players this team has. That's
but still,
tricky.
Does that gets you in the lottery, right?
They're going to be in the lottery, likely.
Okay.
I don't see them winning 38, 40 games. It's just not going to happen. I don't think they're tanking, though. I really don't. I think what they're doing is they're rolling out with a young squad because that's what they need in the future. They need reps. They need to identify who's a star and who isn't. If Jaden Ivey's a star, like I said, you're contending for the next 10 years. I hope that's the case. If Jaden Ivey is a star in the making, you have him, Cade Cunningham, and Saddiq Bey. That's your core three. That's going to be a problem in the Eastern Conference. The rest you can figure out later. I think they already have enough on the idea that Jaden Ivey can be a star. But if he isn't, well, you're going to have to find one, whether that's through free agency or whether you look at Saddiq Bey and say maybe he's the guy. Who knows? But they're a young team. They're years away. So I'm not going to put any kind of pressure on them, at least this year.
But next year?
Next year, different conversation, right? You have Cade Cunningham going into year 3, Jaden Ivey going into year 2, Saddiq Bey going into year 4. You have a certain level of expectations where a lot of people, including me, will be looking at you saying, hey, playing? 8 seed, 7, maybe? Are we going to win games? Or are we going to keep winning 30 games a year? Like, when is it acceptable that Danny Ainge and now Brad Stevens in Boston, they're able to groom young talent and also contend, but we're just sitting here grooming young talent? That's one of the flaws in Oklahoma City. They're so accustomed to just growing talent. When do you become a contender? And that is one concern I have with Troy Weaver, is how much of this Oklahoma City model are you going to adopt? Do you have it in you to start to build around what young core you have now to become a contender? I think it's years away, but you have to start somewhere. It doesn't just happen overnight.
But if he wanted, he could have put together a team this year that at least would have made the play-in game. But he chose not to, because for the long term, it's probably not best for the Pistons.
I agree.
So maybe the right word isn't tanking, but he's making sure that they didn't put the best team out there that they could have.
Yeah.
He's looking long term. All the teams in this city are looking long term. Wings, long term. Pistons, long term. Lions, to a certain extent, long term. Tigers, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Tigers are... You know what the Tigers are doing? They're channeling their inner, I don't know what the hell the word is. What do they call it? Your inner beast? Your animal that you identify with? Avila is... I want you, everybody at home, to close your eyes. I want you to envision this. Avila is a hungry, hungry hippo running into the forest, chasing nothing, with no plan, naked. Just a fat hippo leading the tigers into a forest where they're probably going to stumble upon some mushrooms, take some mushrooms, then come out and say that they're pleased with the progress, and they'll go from there. That's the Detroit Tigers, Terry.
You know what? And I hate to admit this, but no, not even about that. But I was thinking about his whole hippo versus fit guys things. It applies here in Detroit. Brad Holmes.
Fit.
Avila, not fit. Steve Eisman. Fit. Troy Weaver. Fit.
Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, come on. The last 5 GMs in the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, and the NBA, all the successful GMs in the last 5 years, they're in shape. I wish I was lying. I wish I was lying.
Here in Detroit. The
I
three
wish I was
guys
lying.
we believe in, and it may not work out, but the 3 guys we believe in, fit. The guy we don't believe in,
doesn't fit.
May have a couple love handles. Maybe a couple.
All right. When we get back, Brad and Ryan from the Winged Wheel podcast join us to talk some NHL Draft. The Detroit Red Wings on the clock tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to ask them a few questions. Nobody knows what the hell Steve Eiserman's doing. You can ask him how his cat is doing, and he won't give you a straight answer. It's unbelievable. The guy is unbreakable. Unbelievable. When we get back, the Winged Wheel podcast guys join us to talk some hockey. But before we do, Maddie, can you tell everybody home about our good friends over at Cintron?
Yes, I can. The Summer of Cintron is here, and it's now available in your local Kroger. So head on over to Kroger. They've got a deal going on right now, 2 for just $4. That's an absolute steal. Cintron is the new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Open all summer along the Monroe Street Midway is opened in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more for a fun, safe event for everybody from 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more information. All right, Terry, we are joined by our good friends over at the Winged Wheel podcast, Brad and Ryan. Guys, how are you doing?
Us. Having us.
Hey, all right, guys, look, I'm just going to cut straight to it. I don't know what the hell Steve Yzerman's doing. I really don't. I can't.
And we never do.
Nobody ever does. Do you have anything that would help me understand what the hell they're looking for with the 8th overall pick? Because from what I've seen, this is a guy that isn't going to be called up for at least 2, maybe 3 years, depending on his progress. This is a player that's not going to impact this team anytime soon, just like we saw with Mo Sider all those years ago. What's the game plan? What's the strategy with this pick, guys?
Well, the first thing that I think everybody has to take into account is that positionality doesn't matter for the exact reasons you just said, in the sense that whatever this roster is now, by the time this player comes in, the roster is going to look completely different. So I know we hyper-focus on the lack of centers, but that might come into play here, that might not. There is a lot of centers that are in range, so there's a good chance that they take one. But what it comes down to is trends. And over the last 3 years of Yzerman's tenure, he's definitely got a type of player. He likes the guys with a mega high compete level, a high skill level, and guys that can skate. So there's a lot of players in this draft and in that range that check those 3 boxes, regardless of whether they're a center, wing, or defenseman. That's what I think primarily Yzerman will be looking for, just based on his own history in drafting.
All right. One question I need to pivot to before we continue with the draft is you mentioned the need for a center. I still think they need also a defenseman and a veteran goalie. Walk us through free agency. What are some of the moves you guys recommend or you could see Steve Yzerman going in a direction for this hockey team?
Yeah, it's interesting because there are 2 different paths really that Yzerman can take here. He can choose to say, this team's not ready yet. This team is not going to compete for the playoffs, and I am not going to go out and spend a ton of money on a free agent that isn't going to push us to the playoffs or make us a cup competitor now. And then a couple years down the line, they're not worth the money anymore, and then you've just wasted the cap space. So he could just sit back, sign some veterans, and then let the team kind of sit in that draft lottery range again. But we've seen Yzerman say time and time again, and take all of his words with a grain of salt, but we've seen him say time and time again, he wants his team to get better incrementally. So there are moves you can make to improve the team, to surround Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond with some better support, to give Dylan Larkin and Tyler Bertuzzi a break from carrying this team on their shoulders. And that could be, trying to sign a second-line center. Vincent Trocheck is a big name on the market. He might command too much money. I think Nazem Kadri is also probably out of range unless he really wants to make a big splash. You can add veteran but solid defensemen, especially on the left side, someone to play with Moritz Seider. Seider played with Jordan Osterley, who did his best last year and by all rights did more than whatever should have been asked of him. But the Red Wings need someone better to play with Moritz Seider, so look for a Cole or someone else to bring in on that left side.
One thing I was curious about is, even though a lot of us don't believe the Wings are a playoff team, that Steve Yzerman thinks they are a playoff team. That's why he got rid of Jeff Blashill. That he didn't want to bring his guy in until he thought they were somewhat competitive and ready to win. Do you aspire to that? You think that in his mind he thinks the Wings are a playoff team that's underachieving?
Right now, I would say no, and I think Yzerman would agree with that. But I think one thing with the timing of the coach is relevant to the culture of winning in Detroit. I don't think Yzerman or many fans expect the Red Wings to make the playoffs this season, but I think this is the season where they have to turn the corner, not get into a playoffs, not make any noise, but show definitive improvement, show that this is the year the Red Wings start their upward trajectory. Obviously, they brought in Derek Lalonde because they're hoping he'll be a better coach. They're hoping he's the long-term answer for this team. So they want him to build this team, mold this team, and take this team to that next level. Whether that takes 1, 2, or 3 years, they want him to be the guy to bring the team in the right direction.
And I think that's where Derek Lalonde falls right into place. This is a guy, first job in the NHL as a head coach. I think it fits the timeline. We've talked about timelines so many times with the Lions, with the Pistons, now with the Red Wings. The Tigers are just falling off the earth, so we're just going to ignore them for now. But Derek Lalonde is a guy that is a player's coach. I mean, a lot of traits that match what Jeff Blashill was. I do think, though, he is much more astute, at least understanding how they're going to play the game. That's going to matter. You look at year 2 going into Lucas Raymond and Mo Seider in the NHL, you'd expect significant improvement. You have Jakub Vrana, who's one of the better goal scorers in the league on a goals per game average. The problem is, can he stay healthy to give you a 35, 40 goal scoring season? There are things there with the Red Wings that are positive. What I would ask you guys is, Sebastian Koss is a few years away, but if you go back and look at Andrei Vasilevsky's growth and his development in Tampa Bay, this is about the time where they call him up for 4 or 5 games at the end of the year and they let him play. And then next season, Sebastian Kossa, in this case Vasilevsky, started 12, 14, 15 games, and then he took the reins over going into the 3rd year. So I still think we're 3 years away just on Vasilevsky's timeline. What's Kossa's timeline to the pros?
Well, what we've seen from Sebastian Kossa in his junior season just now in the CHL, they won the championship with the Edmonton Oil Kings, which was great. He had a very, feast or famine playoffs. It was either a shutout or, Edmonton allowed so few shots against that if they lost, he had like an .850 save percentage. So overall, I think he was good. In the Memorial Cup, it wasn't great for the Oil Kings. They were, 4th out of 4 teams. And what we've seen from Kossa is pretty much his draft profile. Insanely talented, a lot of raw athleticism. He has the frame for the modern NHL goaltender, but he's just not there yet in terms of his refinement, his positioning, his discipline. And that's okay. That just means a longer timeline. It doesn't mean bust. It doesn't mean he's underwhelming. It just means it's a longer timeline. And I know if you ask Chris Draper or Steve Eisman or anyone involved in scouting Sebastian Kossa, they would have told you that then, and they would tell you the same thing now. So I would give Kossa at least 2 to 3 years here before you can seriously consider him as a viable option for the Red Wings. It's not even guaranteed he'll come over to the AHL next year. I think the solution for the Red Wings for the foreseeable future needs to be Alex Nedeljkovic and one other capable NHL goaltender to play minimum 30 games.
Well, some of the mock drafts I looked at has said that the Wings are going to draft a center tomorrow. Do you concur with that, or does Steve Eisman surprise us again, or is it time for him to bring in a high-scoring center to this this puck club?
Well, I think the way the draft board is shaping up, there's a very strong likelihood the Red Wings take a center here, but that's, I think, more to do with just the strength at center in this draft by volume. When you look at the Red Wings pipeline and the current roster, I'd say the only position where they have reasonable depth for the foreseeable future might be left defense. On the roster and in the system, there's not a lot of wingers, there's not a lot of centers, and beyond Mo Seider, there's not a lot of right shot D. So I think all those things should be in play at pick 8. You look at guys like Matt Savoy, who could be there, who some think could be a center, Marco Kasper, Connor Geekie. There will be options at center. So if the Red Wings deem that, yes, this is the best player available, and it happens to line up with their greatest position of need, then it's a match made in heaven. And it's shaping up that that's a very strong possibility, almost a likely possibility. But when you look at some of the other talent that's there, like a Joakim Kemell or a Jonathan Lekaramaki, who are wingers, but based on talent alone are good bets to be top 8 players in this draft. And if the Red Wings truly feel that they are the best players available, they shouldn't shy away from them just because they're wingers. You don't get a chance to get what could be generational goal scorer at 8th overall. So if that opportunity presents itself, there's no guarantee they'll pass that up.
That's super interesting, because I think we acknowledged in the beginning of this discussion that whoever they take at number 8 likely won't be in the NHL for 2-3 years, depending on their development. Who are some of the players this year that we can expect the Wings to call up and give a go that are currently not part of the team. Edvison is probably the obvious choice, but what other players are there that fans could expect to see this upcoming season?
Yeah, Simon Edvinson is going to come in on the left side, and I want to caution fans, they're going to expect him to do the exact same thing Moritz Seider did. You know, Edvinson can come in and have a phenomenal season, the best season of his career, and it still might not sniff what Moritz Seider did. Moritz Seider did something that won him a major NHL award. He won the Calder Trophy's Rookie of the Year. So it's amazing. Red Wings fans should be excited, but please don't hold that standard to the rest of the prospects. But Edvinson, by all rights, has almost no competition on the left side. So he should have, as long as everything goes well and Yzerman doesn't guarantee anything, a good camp and make the roster. And it'll be exciting to see what he can do. On that note, I do hope they bring in some other support on the left side, because I think asking Edvinson to play 23 to 26 minutes a night is probably too much for his rookie year. Additionally, they can look into bringing Jonathan Berggren up on wing from AHL in Grand Rapids. He had himself a pretty fantastic season in Grand Rapids, where some might view it as up and down, but the Red Wings asked him to work on a lot of different aspects of his game, and by all rights, it looks like he fulfilled that in terms of his development and maintained extremely high production, unseen in Grand Rapids for a rookie in his situation. So he would be a prime candidate to come up and break into the Red Wings along the wing. And then a very long shot, I think, you know, Elmer Soderblom, this colossus, 6'7", 250-pound guy who dangles like he's, 5'9". He's likely bound for the AHL, but, anything can happen. You might see him in a couple of games in the NHL, or we might even just see him have some fun in the preseason. So those are the names I would look out for Red Wings fans, but mainly it's Edvinson and then probably Jonathan Berggren.
I'm all for it. I do have a question before we let you guys go regarding the team expectations going into the year. There was a point in the season, I want to say late January, they were 24-6. They were roughly 8 points out of the final playoff spot behind Boston, but it was actually more than that because Boston had a few games up on them still to play. We talked about expectations and having them improve. Is there a win total that showcases improvement this year, or is it strictly player development? Do you want to see Lucas Raymond become a more consistent goal threat? You want to see Jakub Vrana be healthy? Dylan Larkin showcase another solid season, who, by the way, is up for an extension. What's the definition of success for the Red Wings going into Lalonde's first year?
I don't want to say win totals don't matter for this season. I will say they matter so far as they can't go backwards. They can't have fewer wins than they had last season. I think we're the biggest indicator of progression and success for this season will be two fronts. First will be the players. We want to see guys like, Lucas Raymond, Filip Zadina, Michael Rasmussen take steps forward. Obviously, I don't know how much bigger steps Mo Seider could take, but that would be great as well. And just, if they lose the exact same number of games, but they get rid of these 9-2 waxings to the Coyotes, if they're not getting absolutely blown out of the water seemingly every other week, that's also a huge indicator of success, that they can keep it from going off the rails. So I think if Lalonde is able to come in, implement his systems, have an overall team improvement in terms of, special teams, the defense especially, and then you see progressions from players who have either stagnated or regressed. I know I mentioned Zadina and Rasmussen. You could throw Filip Hronek into that same category. I think that is probably the overall biggest indicator of success for the Red Wings next year.
I think that's the thing I want to see, the defense. I mean, you can't be giving up 7, 8, 11 goals. And that seemed to happen way too often last year. I mean, that's the thing they need to buckle down. If you're going to lose 3-2 or something like that, not 11. Would they have 11-9 game and that they lost and
Nedeljkovic was scoring
goals.
on himself.
I mean, it
was a tough period.
I know, but you should never ever do that. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, there was definitely a few lowlights last year. So if they lose the exact same amount of games but wipe those from their system, I think that's a big step forward in and of itself.
All right, well, Ryan and Brad, thank you so much for joining us. Absolute pleasure. I can't believe we waited this long. You guys were phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Would love to talk soon after the draft for sure. You guys are streaming tomorrow, so tell everybody at home where they could be watching you tomorrow night. And I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So again, we're the Winged Wheel Podcast. Look for us wherever you find your podcasts. On YouTube, we'll be streaming the first round of the NHL Draft Lottery, so follow along with us, myself, Brad, and our other co-host, Evan, if we can get him off the golf course. And we'll be covering everything to do with the Detroit Red Wings pick, analysis, reactions, giveaways, prizes, and everything. So hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe to the channel and tune in wherever. And yeah, I agree. It's been too long. We should have done this earlier, but happy to keep working together. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Go Red Wings!
Take care.
Oh, man, that was great. That was great. That was
Fine
great.
young men.
When we get back, Terry, I can't believe this is even, I can't believe this made the show today. Dallas Cowboys signed an agreement with a coffee company, Black Rifle Coffee. Terry, I'm assuming you have an issue with it?
I do.
So we'll get to that.
Issue.
Now, I don't. Fun fact, I am a Black Rifle Coffee consumer, so this is going to be a fun topic.
I never even heard of it until now.
Oh, it's amazing. I'll tell you all about it when we get back. But before we do, Maddie, the best defense on and off the ice.
Yes, is Guardian Alarm. Summertime is here, and that means spending more time outside. Let Guardian Alarm give you peace of mind while you're enjoying the sunshine. Give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT today, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT today, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Oh, my.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
If you are looking for a place to get apparel, look no further than Big Frog in Novi. And right now, you can get a free Woodward t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today, get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
All right, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Dallas Cowboys signed an agreement. Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Right.
Their partnership and other advertiser on for the NFL team. Do you have an issue with the coffee company, or do you have an issue with the labels?
I'm
kind of confused.
Issue with the drinks that they've got on there. They have one.
The AK Espresso.
AK Espresso, something murder, something.
Yep,
whatever.
yep. Murdered out.
We are at a crisis in this country with it seems like we have a mass shooting every week. I think if you are a family member of one of the people who've been shot and killed, either in Illinois or New York, Buffalo, Texas, that it's kind of hard to see America's quote-unquote team promoting America's quote-unquote coffee.
But isn't this company the definition of America's coffee? Veteran-owned, veteran-operated. They do amazing community work in the veteran community and charity work.
Well, do that and get rid of
See,
the labels.
I don't personally care, and I don't think the timing is bad. What are you supposed to do? As of July 4th, there have been 7 mass shootings, which means there's one every month. So whether it was bad timing, all right, you delay it a month. Well, then another one probably happened at the rate we're going at right now. So I don't associate the problems we have with gun laws or whatever you want to define it as and mass shootings with a veteran founded and operated coffee company that does a lot of amazing work. I don't have an issue with it. I really don't.
What? That's what Bobby Knight did. Bobby Knight, MF people, threw flower pots at his secretary, was an ass, but everybody said, yeah, but he does good things for his players. I don't care about that. Show
some
compassion.
Though. But again, from a veteran's perspective, there is nothing wrong with it's an AK-47. It's a Kalashnikov. It's a Russian-made gun. It is a very popular gun. Yes, it is a gun. I understand. Yes, they are called Black Rifle Coffee. Okay, so what? So what? You can't buy guns from them. It's coffee. I think it's cool. They have the Liberty roast. They have a ton of the Freedom roast. There's a ton of options that they have that I think is amazing.
Then why don't they come up with more options like that,
yeah,
buddy boy?
I don't see the problem. They have the Medal of Honor one as well. Like,
once again,
we're trying to eliminate like anything that's somewhat doesn't align or doesn't make us feel comfortable. It's espresso at the end of the day.
It is.
Who cares how it's packaged?
In your world, it's okay to have something that might be offensive to some people, just as long as they got some good stuff on the other side.
Not necessarily.
Well, sort of what you're saying.
It's coffee. I mean, that's kind of like where I'm at.
It's coffee, but why can't you label it some other way?
I mean, okay, so some context. One, they have, I think, the best social media team out there in all of the United States. I don't think there's a better social media team. The way they go about branding themselves, the way they go about promoting their product, second to none. If you're in school right now and you're studying marketing or, how to promotion, logistics, anything, that's a hell of a follow because they do such a good job. But it's coffee, man. Like, I can't see. I draw a hard line in the sand between politics, mass shootings, gun laws, and a coffee company that is veteran-based. That their image is based on veterans, and veterans, by the way, they go to war, they engage in combat.
They shoot people.
And they shoot people and they get shot. And they come back here and they're asked to live a normal life. And the life they know is one of military operations. Okay, well, you come back, you start the company called Black Rifle Coffee. I cannot, me personally, I am not offended by espresso packaged coffee. Like, I can't. For me, I think that's the problem is we're trying to take like every little thing and well, get rid of that. Cancel it. Like, all right, well, how about we cancel the Trojans, right? Because Trojans back in the day would rape and pillage villages, and they would kill people. Like, are we going to get rid of the USC Trojans now? Are we going to get rid of Trojan condoms? Like,
we're getting rid of Native American stuff.
I don't think it's correct. I think we're stupid for doing this stuff, to be honest with you. I think it's too much. I think we're choosing to tackle small things that are irrelevant and trying to bring other things down because we have no control over our own politics, our own gun laws, and these mass shootings that are happening. There have been 7 so far this year. And come on. I mean, it's too much for me. That's, for me, too petty. Maybe petty's not the right word. I think the timing is more than appropriate. Is it unfortunate that there was a mass shooting on July 4th? It's super unfortunate. Nobody planned for it.
But the thing is, we're going to have mass shootings all the time.
And what can I do about that?
This is America.
And what can they do about it?
Nothing they can do about it.
So what can the Cowboys do? This is a political and a law issue. This is more than just what we say or do. I mean, more than a coffee product. Come on, I can't get with it. I really can't. As a veteran myself, Adam, being a veteran does not mean we do stupid shit. I don't understand what that means.
Well, I think what he's saying is that just because you're a veteran, don't excuse stuff for them, that they can do stupid stuff too, and they shouldn't do stupid stuff.
What's the definition of doing stupid stuff? Packaging coffee and labeling it Murdered Out or AK Espresso? Again, if I were to start a coffee company,
I don't know if it's stupid, but it's insensitive to some people.
People need to grow a fucking pair of balls, honestly, at this point. Man, woman, I don't care who you are. Grow up a little bit. Like, come on. We're attacking everything except the real issues in this country. Coffee labels? Really? Like, I have so much faith in this country, and it's like stuff like this that drives me absolutely nuts. I mean, like, we have way more bigger problems than what the Black Rifle Coffee Company are doing, who, by the way, support an abundance of charities that they do work with. And you know what? Speaking of the charities they work with, of course, the Burn Institute, Semper Fi in America's Fund, Gary Sins Foundation, Veterans Airlift Command, Adopt a Cop, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, come.
So, as long
as long as you're doing good work. No. Take it into context.
Supporting the kids and doing great things in the community, I can do anything I want to you. But, you know, Adam, I know I smacked you in the face. But I'm supporting the kids.
No, you smacking me in the face. You're a piece of shit.
Right? But I'm supporting the kids.
No, it's different because you have to
draw. I took them to Belle
draw.
Isle yesterday and played basketball with them. So that means it's okay for me.
I can't.
To knock the hell out of you.
See, no, that's like I draw a line in the sand. Like you smacking me, that's very unkind of you.
Right.
But
I'm
what
doing
you
good
do
in the community.
Well, that's your personal. It has nothing to do with your action. Selling coffee, again, you are marketed as the Black Rifle Company. You are marketed as a company based and owned by veterans, which means your brand has everything to do with what a veteran has or does currently experience. Those things are definitely part of their brand. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's a bit much that we're upset about it, or asking them to only focus on, the Freedom Roast or the Medal of Honor, the nice stuff that they have. But hey, you know, I am offended because there's the AK Espresso, and that is unacceptable. I can't do that.
Wow, you know, if we didn't have that problem in this country, I'd agree with you. But this country is jacked up. It seems like it's getting worse every day, and you know, we just had this shooting in, you know, it's like mocking it a little bit. Like, these shootings are not serious. Doesn't affect me because I don't know anybody got shot.
Yeah, look,
so
what do I tell you guys?
About it.
What do I tell you? We live in a country at the current rate right now where we average one mass shooting a month. What am I supposed to tell you?
A week. It's more than a month, brother.
Well, there's only been 7, statistically, ones that are defined. There's a certain amount of casualties you have to hit. There's way more shootings, yes, I agree. But mass shootings where it's a condensed space, there's multiple, almost a dozen casualties. I believe the number's 7. That's the latest one as of July 4th. So let's just say once a month, there's a mass shooting at a heavily populated area. Okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Honestly, what do you want me to do? What can I say to change that? Whether it's your gun laws, it's not just. There's a million factors into why we are where we're at. Like, it's not one thing. So I ask that, you know, how does a mass shooting have anything to do with the Dallas Cowboys, who are an NFL franchise, and a coffee company that is successful and is doing a hell of a job and growing? I draw a hard line in the set. I think they're completely different. I'm not offended by it. I'm really not.
I'm not offended, but I wish they would think a little bit more.
Well,
what's wrong with Freedom Coffee?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But what's wrong with AK Espresso?
I think for
it's
some
just
people
a weapon.
who've had somebody shot and
nobody's
killed,
been shot in this country by an AK-47 unless you're a veteran. Like, nobody in this country, mass shootings, no one's ever been killed. And from my lifetime with an AK-47.
We don't know that.
We do, no, because
doesn't know that.
No, an AK-47. I think you're not even able to purchase it in the United States, if I'm correct. That is not how mass shootings are happening. I mean, the gun that was used on July 4th, I believe, was a semi-automatic. It was a gun that's a single shot. But again, you can get off a ton of rounds. But the point is, the AK espresso is not offensive. There have been American soldiers killed by an AK-47 before. I don't see the veteran community up in arms about it. So if they're not up in arms about an espresso, I'm sure as hell not going to be offended by it.
So in your world, veterans can do anything?
No, it just has nothing to do with...
Say, hey,
no,
veterans
no, it just has nothing to do with mass shootings. If Native Americans are offended by the Cleveland Indians name, I can respect that and say, you know what? Because I don't have that background. For people who haven't served, if AK Espresso doesn't affect the actual veterans who were shot and no people that were killed by it, then I'm not interested in having that conversation.
Well, just because they use AK-47 doesn't mean all veterans agree with that. This is a company that's trying to sell coffee, and so it doesn't mean that they're going to prescribe to what most or many veterans would prescribe to. They just want to sell coffee. The average veteran doesn't wake up every day saying, how can I sell coffee today? He's probably want to drink some, purchase some, but is not selling it.
Fair enough. I think we'll call that a stalemate.
Okay, bam.
I get it. It's just difficult for me to... I draw a hard line between what's going on and what an American coffee company is doing. They're not equatable at all. AKs are widely owned across the country. They're semi-auto, but it's an AK nonetheless. No, there's a big difference. It is an AK, yes, but in these mass shootings, I haven't seen anybody shoot anybody.
Using the, was it AK-15 or something like that? AR-15, yeah. That seems to be the gun of choice.
Look, we'll move on, but we have bigger issues in this country than a coffee company packaging their coffee. When we get back, we'll talk some Detroit Pistons. And then, of course,
Detroit Pistons.
We got to talk about the holiday weekend at 9:41. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell us about the ciabattas out at Big Boy?
Yes, I can. Ciabattas, summer salads, hand-dipped.
Oh, God. This is working out well.
You're doing great, Maddie.
I'm hitting the Big Boy today.
Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on their new grilled ciabatta bread. Keep it light with their Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream or a strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on the Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2.
All right, Terry. You mentioned earlier you believe the Pistons are already tanking.
Yeah.
I'm all ears. I don't believe they are, but I can be swayed another way.
Troy Weaver could have had a team, and even you admit this.
Yes.
That could have made at least the play-in game.
That was either Miles Bridges before the assault charges, and of course DeAndre, and before they drafted Jalen Duren.
Right. He chose not to select to go after any of those players. He chose to fill out the roster with guys. And so by doing that, I think he's assured us that the Pistons are going to be a lottery team again. His goal, once again, is to build through the draft. Troy Weaver knows he can't build this team through free agency. But he had two guys, at least, who were willing to come here. He's not going to find that every year. So he had it ready-made where he could have at least made the play-in game. Chose not to because for the long-term success of this franchise, it's probably the right move, going with the younger guys and not going with the quote-unquote quick fix. So in a way, Troy Weaver is tanking. Could have had a playoff game or play-in game. Nope, I don't want that. I want to be in the lottery another year.
There's one sample size of data that, from a bettor's perspective, is important, but I think it tells a story. The Pistons covered 19 straight games down the stretch last season, if I believe. I think it reached the 20. And why that's important is down the stretch they were competitive. And it's roughly still the same team, except they got a little better. Cade is going to ideally take a big step in year 2. I think that counts for something. How many wins? I don't know. What I do know is I don't believe this team is capable of only winning 19, 20, 23 games. This isn't a 23-59 ball club this year. I don't see that. I see 29 and 40. Well, no, 29 and 53. Okay. 31 and 51. 34 and 48. Dare I say that would be. Now I would chalk that up as progress, given how young the team is. But I can understand why you think they're tanking. I just believe they're in a position where they need these guys to ball. They need them on the court. They need minutes. Had you brought DeAndre Ayton in and not drafted Jalen Duren, that's probably a play-in team, right? You're getting a 17 and 12 guy a night. There's nobody on this team that's going to do that year 1. Hell, I don't even think combined Stewart, Duren, and Noel could do that combined. So, yes, you're right. They could have put together a team that was in the play-in. I just think it's so important for Bay to get 34, 35, 36 minutes, 38 minutes. Cade, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren to come off the bench and get some minutes. This is about development.
And it's important to bring in whoever that number 3 and number 4 draft pick is next year. Or 5 or 6 or 7.
My concern with that is, let's say you're picking in the top 5 again next year. I'm all for building a talented team. When are you going to build a winning team, right? And not only that, that's another prospect that you're going to have to wait 3, 4, 5 years to flourish and develop. Because there's no LeBron James coming into the league next year. Luka Doncic coming in and just dominating. Maybe Victor Wanyama. Maybe. Come on, guys. I don't see it. I just don't. I don't see why they want to position themselves to have the number 5, number 6 overall pick next year. It doesn't benefit them. If anything, if they want to use it as a trade piece, be my guest. But for who? This is a team that needs to start building.
So after this year, it's no longer Adham saying, Troy's my guy. I believe in everything he does.
No, it's never.
He's got to win.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. When Brad Stevens is able to build around a young core and Danny Ainge, and they're able to not only build their young core, but stay competitive in the Eastern Conference, it's doable. You can go out and get veteran players that will help improve your roster, get you wins down the stretch. Can you win 30, 32, 34 games this year? I'd like to believe so. I'd hope so. I don't want to see another 20-win team this year. I just don't. So the draft is nice, but remember where Troy Weaver comes from, Oklahoma City. Notorious for building through the draft. Yeah, they do a hell of a job drafting talent. Yeah, do they build contenders?
Right, but you had knuckleheads that were looking to leave. You're in Oklahoma City, first of all. You don't want to be there. So you're looking to get out. and then you had your boy Westbrook. You had James Harden. You had Kevin Durant, who's just globe-trotting now. So maybe it's not that Troy Weaver can't build a winning team. Maybe he just had the wrong pieces of guys who thought they were entitled, didn't belong in Oklahoma City, and were looking to move elsewhere. And you know what? Maybe Cade Cunningham could become that guy. I don't think so, but that's why I say the Pistons are on the clock. Even though Cade wears the buffs and we love him, we think he's all into Detroit. If Troy Weaver doesn't do his job after a certain point, I think even Cade Cunningham would be saying, oh, you know what? The Bulls look pretty good. I might go talk to them. I might go play for them. So Troy Weaver is in this really weird mix where he's got to do it the right way. He's got to be patient. But at some point, he's got to produce something where we're saying, oh, okay, I see it. The Pistons have won a number of games. They're on that verge. Here they come. Bam. They're dangerous.
You got to start winning. Mix. Yeah, you got to start winning. You can't just keep selling the fans on developing. And don't tell me be patient. Oh, I'm patient. Trust me. I'm telling you, they're not contenders for 4 to 5 years. That doesn't mean you're not in the play-in next season. What's to stop you? You're more than capable. They got to be very careful. If they're a lottery team, not only this season, but next year, I'd be furious. I'd be very furious. Year 4, Cade Cunningham hasn't even made the playoffs yet. Give me a break. The first 2 years, I can live with it. Going into year 3, they better be a damn play-in team. Why? Because Cade's going to be a star player already. And Jaden Ivey will be going into year 2, Sadiq year 4. It all makes sense to me. I just hope they don't continue this. So we're going to build young. Eventually, you got to be bold. Eventually, you have to get a few veteran pieces, some veteran forwards, and you got to start winning games. When we get back, everybody here has a problem with fireworks. I'm just like confused. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But before we do, I got to tell you about MyBookie. Bet from anywhere, anytime you're using MyBookie. If you haven't already signed up, make sure you sign up today using promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit. MyBookie.com, the easiest way to place your bets. Futures, props, doesn't matter whether it's a spread. Take advantage of MyBookie and their offers. And as always, if you struggle with gambling, call 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, that is another winner I gave you yesterday with the Miami Marlins and Sandy and Sally, whoever else he is. But listen, hey, you guys got to get over there to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds at all the sports books right in the palm of your hand. Hey, let's get back to them winners. We need more fun coupons. Of course, fun coupons equals fun. So listen, we're going to roll today with the Arizona Diamondbacks to beat the San Francisco Giants. Giants are just 2-10 in the last 12 games. Merrill Kelly, Arizona's best pitcher. Sounds good to me. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, where we hate fireworks. Isn't that right, Adam?
I mean, I don't hate fireworks. Apparently, you and Terry hate them.
They're stupid.
What the hell's your guys' problem?
They're too loud.
She thinks they're too loud. What's your problem, Terry?
I love them. I just think that July 4th is over. I heard them last night, and I'm going to hear them tonight,
Yeah, I was going to say, they should just be on July 4th. That's it.
People shoot off fireworks all summer long. It's not just a July 4th thing.
Yeah, they do. Memorial Day, you'll hear them. Labor Day, you'll hear them. It's like fireworks are meant for July 4th, done.
How about this?
Cutoff point.
Don't shoot them off at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I think it's illegal to do that.
But they still do it.
Still do it.
I don't see anybody getting arrested.
But that's middle of the day for me, so there's a couple weirdos.
They don't get arrested. They do get fined, though, if the cops show up. Then they're done.
Adam came up with a great idea.
Well, you've been fined from the cops for...
My parents have.
Oh, okay.
I think I have the solution.
What's
If you
that?
shoot a firework after midnight,
you get shot.
You get shot.
I don't think that'll go down well with the American public.
And not buy firework.
You know, speaking of buying, I'm going to buy some coffee.
What kind?
Game espresso.
All right.
No, I have very sensitive, tiny ears, and my eardrums like explode during fireworks.
Well, how do you? If you have tiny, sensitive ears, how do you do this show with this loud mouth?
Oh, I thought you were going a different direction.
Yeah,
That's all right.
she probably doesn't.
No, I thought because you work around festivals and there's always music and DJs.
I know. I do wear.
Do you wear like ear plugs?
Okay,
yeah, but
smart.
then I can't hear what people are ordering, so that's why I yell. So
That's
much.
complicated. No wonder you lose your voice so much.
Yeah.
Holy hell. Jeez.
But yeah, I have very, very sensitive ears.
Do you have a dog?
I do.
She has an asshole of a dog.
Wow.
I do. My dog.
Hey, she admits it. She admits it. I didn't decide it. The dog did.
Were you messing with the dog?
No. She came to our softball
my
game.
dog has
PTSD.
issues. She has PTSD and anxiety. So.
Then why don't you keep her away from people?
That's what
Well,
I'm
because
saying.
you have to try to like
Yeah.
socialize them
At the
again
expense of
and-
biting off my belt.
You know what? You know what the theory is? You want your dog to stop biting people. Collateral damage over here. If it's Adam, who cares?
Well, it was stick too.
Oh, bam. There's the second one. Who cares?
But if you give her a treat right when you meet her, she won't bite you. But I didn't have any treats.
Oh, well, that's probably your first mistake.
But anyways, but yeah, I have to take medicine and stuff before I go on planes. Like I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Do yours like pop?
Mhm.
They say gum works.
It doesn't.
If you have a severe problem, the gum won't work.
Does gum actually work, by
It
the way?
works for me.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna
probably
say
not
it-
for Matt.
Does it
work.
actually work,
I
or
would
is this
say-
like a ploy
No, I would
by
say it
gum
actually-
companies to sell more gum?
I would say it actually works. Yeah, I'd say it works.
How?
I was like, let's see if it actually works. I went on like a 7-hour trip a few months ago, and it
Because
worked.
you're getting,
So-
it's a weird thing. Your
It's like
mouth
the
when it opens
saliva
and
and
closes,
the-
there's something that happens with your ears.
Yeah.
It opens them up or something stupid. I don't know what it is.
I
But
don't know.
gum does work.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
was
a
gonna say it
ploy.
works.
When I was working overseas, I'd fly from country to country like every 7-10 days. I never chewed gum on a plane. Never had my ears pop once.
Because you don't have a problem.
Yeah, you probably don't have a problem then.
I thought this
Some
is...
people do.
All right.
Like me. And
Some
Terry
people, when
Foster
you get on a
apparently.
plane, when it takes off, your ears get
Yep.
all tight and
Yep.
clogged up and everything. If you chew gum, it opens it up. But if you don't have a problem, which because you're the king of everything, you don't have to worry about that. Us commoners have to chew gum.
you people are beneath me.
Yeah.
I think that's the
King Adam.
That's the solution.
I think
this
we knew
morning.
that from day one. At least
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
100%.
When I walked in here, I said, "Ooh, that's King Adam. Don't disrespect him."
King Adam, sire of Dearborn Heights.
Oh God. I don't live in Dearborn Heights, by the way. Fun fact.
You used to.
Used to.
Didn't you go to
Long
school
time ago.
there?
Long time ago. Yeah. It's technically Dearborn, though, right? I mean,
Sire of Dearborn.
yeah, whatever.
it is.
No. I'm trying to avoid that.
Oh.
Oh man, when we
So
get
the fine
back,
people of Dearborn are beneath you too. I get it.
let's not bring that up when we get back. When we get back, Mailbag, get any and all questions that you have in the chat, and we'll answer them for all of you. But before we do, I got to tell you about Planet Fitness, sponsor of the Woodward Sports Studio, your home of a judgment-free zone. Get to Planet Fitness. Start today, $0 down, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Visit any Planet Fitness gym in the Metro Detroit area near you, or visit planetfitness.com to get started today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything that you need to get the job done. So if you've got a big project coming up, Alta Rents has got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
All right, we're back. Get your questions in the chat. I'm excited. I'm excited for today. We got a lot going on. Hopefully the weather clears up. I got a game tonight. Not trying to miss.
Oh, with the Porch Pirates? What's the name of your team again?
The Rats.
Space Dogs?
No,
No,
the Rats.
it's not
Today's the Rats.
Rats.
Tomorrow's the Space Dogs.
I thought the Space Dogs are off this week.
They are actually. You're right.
Who plays for the Porch Pirates?
I don't know. I never heard of them.
I got my teams mixed up.
Yeah, it's
I'm old.
He plays for the Rats, and then he also plays for the Space Dogs on Thursdays with Sticky Wicky.
Oh, God. What would it take for Hutchinson to win Defensive Rookie of the Year? Minimum, I think, 8 sacks. Could be 7.5, but I would be comfortable with 8. He gets 8 sacks. That means he's an impact player year one. He's probably winning Defensive Rookie of the Year unless somebody just does way better than him, which, you can point to.
And more sacks than any rookie. But here's the thing that Detroit's going to have to combat. You have to combat the media hype of New York. Thibodeau is getting
that's right.
a lot of love in New York. New York, I don't know if you know this, a little bit bigger market than Detroit. It's not always who the best rookie is. It's who the media sometimes pumps up as the best rookie of the year.
Yeah, that does play a factor. I mean, we saw it with Cade Cunningham this year in the NBA, but Kayvon Thibodeau is a good threat for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's a good bet. I would just keep pointing to history. History teaches us a lot, and I like to learn from history as often as I can. 5 of the last 6 pass rushers that were selected number 2 overall have won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I'm going to stick with that trend. The only one who didn't was Chris Long, and ideally, Aiden Hutchinson's much better than Chris Long, but you know what? We'll see how year one goes. I have pretty decent amount of expectations for Aiden Hutchinson going into his first year. Adam, do the Tigers turn it around after sweeping the Cleveland Guardians? They look really good right now. Terry, you can answer that
no?
one. Okay, thank you.
How about no? Baseball, no matter how bad you are, you have some moments where you look good. In baseball, no matter how good you are, you have moments where you look like you just got out of bed. People, I always believe in sample size. I want larger sample size, especially in the sport of baseball. Give me 3-4 weeks of the Tigers looking good, and I might, even though that's kind of short, I might say, you know what, maybe. But just because you sweep Cleveland, who might be fatigued because they're playing so many, so we never look at the other team. They're playing so many double headers. Maybe Cleveland's, you're catching them at the right time.
Yeah. Can you break down the fact that the Lions have the most expensive offense in the NFL? Yeah, that's because Ragnow and Decker and Jared Goff. That's meaningless.
It is.
And then for any of the bozos that say, well, having the most expensive offense this year comes with expectations. Shut up.
Yeah, but what if one of those pieces is a clunker? I mean, Is anybody saying Jared Goff is a borderline Pro Bowl or All-Star quarterback? No. He just gets paid a lot.
Yeah,
payroll doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we're gonna
unless it's real low.
Oh gosh, should I put my house and life savings on Chet winning Rookie of the Year? Born cool, do not do that. He's not a guard. He's not a forward. He is a dynamic hybrid player who's going to be fantastic. You just don't know the amount of minutes he's going to get. And I would say if I were to place an early bet, Keegan Murray is going to have a solid 3 roll out in Sacramento. He'll probably average 14, 15, 16 a night. That's someone to look at. Look at their situations. Oklahoma City doesn't care about Chet's stat line. They care about his development. They don't care what his stat line looks like year one. So
and plus, with Sacramento, I always say this. If a tree falls in the forest and there's nobody there to listen to it, does it actually make a noise? Sacramento, you can go out there and clown and nobody knows. It's not a big market. It's on the West Coast. Games being played at 10:30 at night. That affects Rookie of the Year voting. That affects a lot of things because voters don't see and don't care.
Would you give up Sadiq Bey if it meant landing Donovan Mitchell as part of the KD trade? KD to Phoenix, Ayton to Utah, Mitchell to Detroit, a backcourt of Cade, Ivy, and Mitchell. I don't know why Utah would do that. Utah's getting dicked in that trade. So it's a 3-team trade. Phoenix would be happy. Utah wouldn't be happy unless they got 3, 4, 5 first-round picks, which I don't think it's going to happen. So I would pass. Can Ragnow and Swift stay healthy? I hope.
That's a goofy question. Injuries we just don't know. Could they stay healthy? Yes. Could they be injured? Yes. Could they have season-ending injuries? Yes. Could they have minor injuries? Yes. When you talk about injuries, the answer is always yes. Followed by, I really don't know. Because I don't.
Are you guys going to have Owen on more once college football season gets started? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait for college football. I can't wait for the NFL. This is the last month we won't have football. Think about that. Until February. Life is good. I am so excited. We got a lot of great stuff planned for the season. We got a lot of cool stuff we're working on behind the scenes. I'm excited, Terry. It's going to be a good season. Our first football season together.
That'll be exciting. I love football season, too. I think everybody does, unless you don't like football.
Oof.
I got a question for you.
All right.
I want to get into your Middle Eastern cuisine.
All right.
Now, am I don't know, a tourist or a goofball because I like Bucharest chicken shawarma? Or do I need to get a little bit, is that like not cool?
No, it's fine. I mean, I can hook you up with some really good spots.
Better than Bucharest?
Yes.
All right. Because Bucharest is always voted the top chicken shawarma in Metro Detroit, and is that just not true?
Well, I mean, how much of the voting is paid for, right?
True.
You have to consider that. So,
Because who goes down Warren Avenue looking for shawarmas?
Yeah, there's a spot on Ford Road near my house. I'll take you. I'll take you. Hell of a spot. Low key. Good spot. Best shawarma. And it's actually fresh.
Oh, okay.
It's not kept overnight. It's like a thing that drives me nuts. You cut the chicken, you keep it in a bag, throw it in the cooler, keep it overnight, and then put it out the next day and act like it's not the same.
Well, they are seasoning it, aren't they?
No.
Overnight?
No. You season the raw chicken or the raw meat.
Oh, they season the cooked chicken. Oh,
yeah.
That's not good.
No, man. I'll show you some real spots.
Okay.
I'm offended.
I knew you would.
I'm offended you've been lied to.
I didn't know better.
Mailbag Adham, Baba Ganoush or hummus. Wow. They're both great. By the way, restaurants' versions are never as good as the homemade versions. If you find someone that can make eggplant at home, that's the stuff.
Okay. Now, this is something I've never figured out. We weren't really dating, but we hung out. A little Lebanese cutie back in the day.
All right.
I went over to her house, and they were making Lebanese food. And everything was great. There was this one thing that they put on bread that tasted like tobacco.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what that could have been?
Was it black?
Yeah.
Was it like spinach a little bit? Looked like spinach, but not really?
I can't remember now. It was so long ago. I just know, I'm like, damn, am I eating a cigarette?
I have no idea, man. Maybe
like,
they gave you
geez,
tobacco.
OB.
I don't know. Guys, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Maddie, give me a smile before we go, please. God bless.
Your hair looks good today, too.
God bless. You do look good today. Shout out to Maddie for always looking good. We got to go. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully my game doesn't get canceled because I'm trying to stay active.
You'll be good.
And remember, Fish is a jackass.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
have a good day.
Watch football and tennis.